So let's get started. Let me fix my jewelry. And let's start it here. And my shorts. So yeah. So basically this is called Rose and Hope. Rose and Hope. Rose and Hope woke up and put on robes. Rose and Hope were twins. Mom, Dad, said Rose. Look, Rose, said Hope. There is a note for us. Dear Rose and Hope, let's begin our birthday game. Find us and we'll have a surprise for you. Look for each note will have a new clue. Look under the lone cone for the next note. Rose and Hope look and look. They pick up the lone cone, and find a note. Hop to the cloves next to the stove for your next clue. Rose and Hope hop to the stove. Near the stove, they get the note. Skip to the spoke that broke to find the next note. Rose and Hope see the note on the broke spoke. Remember the mole, remember his hole. Put on your coat. Your next clue is near the mole hole. They run to the mole hole and get the note. Slip, slip, slide to the carrot nose that froze. Rose and Hope slip and slide down the hill. They get the note on the snowman's nose. Zip to the bone zone for your next clue. They run to the bones. They look for the note. Go to the pole. Look in the big hole. Inside the big hole is your next clue. Rose and Hope race to the pole. They find the hole in the pole and the note. Jog to the rope on a slope. You're getting close. They tug on the rope and get the note. Jog to the old stone home. Go inside. You'll get a birthday surprise. Rose and Hope jog to the stone home. They call Mom, Dad, happy birthday, Rose and Hope. What a surprise. The end. Okay, next book will be Coyote Moon. Coyote Moon. Moon rises as Coyote wakes in her den, a hollowed out pine in a cemetery. Coyote crawls between roots. She sniffs the air, arches her back, shakes her fur. Pups peek through the roots' fingers. It's nighttime in the neighborhood, and Coyote's family is hungry. Pups wait near the den, their easy prey for swooping hawks, but their older siblings stand by as sentinels. Coyote travels along roads, under fences, between houses. She slips through the night as quiet as a ghost, searching for prey. Coyote listens, her triangle ears sit high on her head. She hears scratching. She slides through the boxwood, then crouches. Pounce. Mouse scuttles, Coyote digs and digs, but Mouse is safe beneath the stone wall. Coyote sniffs, she creeps through the tangled bush, tracking the scent of golf course geese. She follows her nose, then lurks among the adler bushes. Coyote charges the nest. Geese hiss and dive, honk and snap. Nipping Coyote's back, Coyote flees. No eggs for breakfast. Coyote looks, her sharp eyes spy Rabbit. She slinks silent as a shadow. Twigs crack, Rabbit freezes, ears twitch, Coyote lunges. Rabbit leaps, shadows blur. Coyote is fast, but Rabbit is faster, skittering under the slide to safety. The moon sinks, stars fade from the sky, the sun's eye peak. Coyote threads through rusty reeds at the fringe where earth and water meet. She wades and waits. Coyote hears gobbling. Coyote smells droppings. Coyote sees Turkey unfurling his feathers like a fan. Turkey struts, drumming and dragging his wings. Coyote springs. Now Coyote's family will eat. Coyote drops Turkey to sing yippee yip yip yo yip yippee yip 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 yo. Coyote's family sings back. You open your window, Coyote hears, sniffs, looks. You watch as Coyote slips under the fence, painted pink by the sun. Beyond your backyard, past the fence, by the cemetery, Coyote's family feasts. Full-bellied, they will sleep until the moon wakes them again. The end. George and Martha, Tons of Fun by James Marshall. George and Martha, Tons of Fun. 5 stories about the best of friends. Story number 1, the mission. George was practicing his handstand. This calls for concentration, he said. Suddenly the doorbell rang. It was Martha. I've come to chat, she said. Not this afternoon, said George. I want to be alone. I hope Martha understands, said George, but Martha did not understand. Martha was offended. Martha was hurt, and Martha was mad. A few minutes later, George's telephone rang. It was Martha. George, she said, I never want to see you again. She slammed down the receiver, and she slammed down the receiver. Oh, dear, said George. Martha was mad all afternoon and evening. Finally, she got out her saxophone. This will calm me down, she said. Soon Martha was having quite a bit of fun. In fact, she was having so much fun that she didn't even answer her telephone. Oh, dear, said George. Martha must still be upset. But Martha had forgotten all about the misunderstanding. Story number 2, The Sweet Tooth. George had a sweet tooth. He couldn't stop himself from eating sweets. You know what they say about too much sugar, said Martha. Let's not discuss it, said George. Late at night, George would raid the fridge to satisfy his sweet tooth. You'll weigh a ton. You'll weigh a ton, said Martha. Let's not discuss it, said George. This calls for action, said Martha. And she lit up a cigar. Stop that, said George. You'll make yourself sick. Let's not discuss it, said Martha. You'll ruin your teeth, said George. We won't discuss this, said Martha. Please, said George. You're ruining your health. No discussion, said Martha. Martha began to turn a peculiar color. George couldn't stand it any longer, and he fell to his knees. You'll do anything you say, he begged. Will you cut down your sweets, said Martha. I promise, said George, and Martha put out her cigar. Story number 3, The Photograph. One day Martha stepped into a photograph booth. I'd love to have my picture taken, she said. Click went the camera. When Martha saw her photograph, she was thrilled. I've never looked prettier, she said. Story number 4, The Hypnosis. George was trying to hypnotize Martha. Your eyes are getting heavy, said George. I believe they are, said Martha. You are getting sleepy, said George. It's true, said Martha. In a moment, Martha seemed sound asleep. Success, whispered George. Ever so quietly, George tiptoed to the kitchen where he kept his cookie jar. Aha! Cried Martha. George was ashamed he'd broken his promise. Would you like a cookie? He asked Martha. Yes, I would, she said, and she ate them all. Poor George. Last story, The Special Gift. It was George's birthday, and Martha stopped by the bookshop to buy a gift. He loves to read, Martha told the salesperson. On the way to George's house, Martha played a tricky game of hopscotch. George could hardly wait for his gift. I can't stand the suspense, he said. But when Martha went to look for George's book, it wasn't there. I'm waiting, said George. What will I do? Said Martha to herself. I'm waiting, said George. Martha quickly decided to give George the photograph for herself. It's not much, she said. When George saw Martha's picture, he fell off his chair laughing. Well, said Martha, it was so funny. What's so funny? The best gift I've ever received, said George. It is, said Martha. Of course, said George. It's wonderful to have a friend who knows how to make you laugh. Martha decided to swallow her pride. She saw that the photograph was pretty funny. After all. The end. The bike ride. The bike race. The bike race. Lily and Leap were on a hike. They saw a sign. Look, a bike race, said Leap. I think I'll ride in it. I'll ride in it too, said Lily. Leap said, You are only 5. You don't know how to ride a bike. You're almost 9. Teach me, said Lily. I can fix this bike, said Leaf. These small wheels are nice, but it's time to take them off. Todd rode up on his trike. I like your bike, he said. Can I ride with you? Lily said. Let's go. Leap ran beside Lily. He held the bike. Then he let go. Things were not fine any more. Lily almost ran into a pine tree. She almost hit a slide. Use your brakes, said Leap. Lily did not use her brakes. Her bike tire hit a pile of rocks. She fell off her bike. Lily put ice on her knees. She did not whine or cry, but Tad was mad. Bad, bad bike. Lily got back on her bike. She fell once, she fell twice, she got back on her bike again. Try one more time, said Leaf. You can do it. This time the leaf did not fall. Look at me. I can ride, said Lily. Tad said, good, good bike. Lily said, the race is tomorrow. I want to be ready. She rode for a long time. It was time for the race. Line up your bikes, said the starter. You will race for 5 miles. Ready, set, go. It was very fast. I'll win a prize. He thought. He gave a wave to Lily. Leap's tire hit a nail. The tire went pop. Leap fell into the pile of dirt. Oh no, a flat tire, he said. Are you okay? Asked Lily. I'm fine, said Leap. Don't stop, Lily. You still have time to win a prize. Lily gave a smile. A prize would be nice, she said, but maybe some other time. Now we have a tire to fix. Leap and Lily fixed the flat tire. Many bikes went by. It's fixed. Let's go, said Leap. Leap and Lily rode across the line. They were side by side. Tad said, hooray! Did you get a prize for last place? Lily gave a big smile. She said, what a great day. I got to ride 5 miles. I learned how to fix a flat tire. Tad said, I'm a big boy. I'm too big for a trike. I bet I can ride a bike. Here I go. Tad, no, said Lily. Stop, said Leap. They ran after the bike. Bad bike, said Todd. Are you okay, Tad? Asked Lily. Tad said, your bike is nice, but I like mine better. A trike is the bike for me. The end. Rose's Bus, the Ride to Civil Rights. Rose's Bus. When Bus 2857 rolled off the assembly line in 1948, no one cheered, no one paid attention, no one knew that one day Bus 2857 would be famous. The bus left the General Motors factory in Michigan and headed for Terre Haute, Indiana, where it carried folks for several years before moving south to Alabama in 1954. Around the time the bus arrived in Montgomery, the U.S. Supreme Court in Washington, D.C. ruled that separate schools for black children and white children were unequal. The civil rights movement was beginning to roll. By now, Bus 2857 was 6 years old. Its yellow paint had faded some, but inside, 10 seats back, There were newly painted movable signs. It read, "Colored." White people climbed aboard bus 2857, paid a dime, and took a seat in the front of the bus. Black people climbed aboard the bus, paid a dime, but often had to walk back down the steps and go to the rear door, even if it was raining, even if their legs were broken, and even if they were cold and the steps were hard to climb. That's just the way things were. Whites sat up front, colored in the back. Black people were called colored back then, just the way things were. When the white seats filled, the entire row of black people had to stand up so one white person could sit down. Black people weren't allowed to share a row with white people. That's just the way things were. If black people didn't stand up, the bus driver could have them arrested and they'd have to pay a fine. Those were the rules, called Jim Crow laws. That's just the way things were. Bus number 2857 traveled the streets of Montgomery carrying people to work, to church, and to the store. Black people needed the bus. The bus company needed black people to ride. Jingle, jang, dime upon dime. Dimes kept the bus in business. On the evening of December 1st, 1955, a winter day like any other, bus number 2857 chugged along the street, stopping at corners, brakes screeching, doors hissing. Miss Rosa Parks boarded the bus. After a long day of sewing and pressing clothes, she took a seat behind the sign. At the next stop, all front seats were filled, and a white man was left standing. The bus driver motioned for Rosa and three other black passengers in a row to stand up so the white man could sit down. Three passengers did as the driver ordered. Rosa still sat still. The busload of people moaned and groaned, anxious to get home. The driver said, "Move, or I'll have you arrested." Rosa sat. The winter day, the police took that winter day, the police took Rosa to jail. Oh, did you hear? Did you hear? Rosa was arrested. The news raced around town like a field on fire. Meetings were held in homes and at churches. Black leaders had been waiting for this moment, waiting for something to happen on the buses, something that would give people the courage to change the way things were. They printed flyers that read, "Please stay off the buses on Monday." On Monday morning, when bus number 2857 pulled up to its first stop, few black faces were among those who climbed aboard. The same was true for every bus in Montgomery at every stop that day. A, boys, a bus boycott had begun, led by a young minister named Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. He said, "The great glory of America, democracy, is the right to protest for right." Black people throughout the city vowed to avoid riding the buses until no one could tell them to move their seats. The bus boycott lasted a week, then a month. Black people walked to work, to church, and to the store. Their feet got sore. They still walked. Some people had no cars, offered riders. Some people who had cars offered rides to others. Black taxi drivers offered special fares until they were stopped by those Jim Crow laws. The boycott went on and on, no dimes jingling, jangling in the coin box. Day after day, week after week, month after month, bus number 2857 rode down the street with plenty of empty seats. Black people walked and walked, wearing holes in their soles of their shoes. They walked for 382 days. That's how long they boycotted the bus. A year after the boycott began, the Supreme Court in Washington, D.C. ruled that the way things were in Montgomery must change. Black people could no longer be forced to give up their seats for white people. They could sit in any seat they wanted on the bus. The civil rights movement had won an important victory. Bus 28 Bus number 2857 was full again. It ran many more years on the streets of Montgomery. As the civil rights movement rolled on, then the city replaced its old buses with ones that were shiny and new. Bus 2857 was put out of service. A man bought the old bus to save it from the junkyard. Summer and winter, year after year, bus number 2857 sat in a field. The engine got ripped out and the windows got broken. Instead of people, the old bus held tools and lumber. A pine tree dripped sap on the roof. Its metal rusted. Number 2857 had been forgotten, or so it seemed. Donnie Williams remembered he owned the bus in the field. Mr. Williams waited half his life for more than 30 years for the right time, a time when people cared enough about the bus to clean off the sap, scrape off the rust, and replace the broken windows. It welcomed people who remembered the way things were. The people who only have heard the stories think about bus number 2857. Imagine where it has been and where we have yet to go. 55 years later, rolled off the assembly line bus. 55 years after it rolled off the assembly line, bus number 2857 returned to Michigan. This time, people cheered when the bus rolled into the Henry Ford Museum. Today, bus number 2857 welcomes people of all colors, those who remember the days when they sat behind the sign, and those who sat in front. The end. Okay, let's look for another book. The best Sookit pumpkin ever. The best Sookit pumpkin ever. The best Sookit pumpkin ever. Micah leaped out of the car, landing in tractor tracks that snaked through the mud by the edge of a huge field. I'm going to find the best pumpkin ever, he explained. A cool breeze muscled up Micah's hair. This chilly fall wind is chasing away the last bit of summer, said Mom. Whoa! I jumped. Perfect weather for Sukkot, Dad added. Come on, Micah yelled as he ran to join the other families from their synagogue. Thanks for volunteering, said Farmer Jared. We have lots of pumpkins to pick before the frost comes. The more you find, the more we'll donate to the soup kitchen. What's a soup kitchen? Micah whispered to his mother. A place where people in need can go to get a meal without having to pay for it, Mom replied. Farmer Jordan nodded. Our pumpkins will feed lots of hungry people. Dad explained, when we help others like that, we are taking part in tikkun om, repeating the word, repairing the world. Tikkun om, repairing the world. And in return for helping out, each of you can choose a pumpkin to take home. Farmer Jared added, I'm going to save my pumpkin for Sukkot, Micah said. The children raced into the field. Some pumpkins were easy to spot, their skin glowing like the midday sun. But Micah was on the lookout for a great big one. Micah got down on his hands and knees and lifted a giant leaf. Ouch! The vine was very prickly, but underneath was a perfectly ripe pumpkin. Found one! He yanked and pulled and wrenched and twisted until finally came free from the vine. Micah pushed aside more leaves and another. Micah collected more and more pumpkins, some with smooth skin, some with ridges, and even a lumpy one that was flat on one side. But not one was big enough to be a perfect Sukkot pumpkin. Look at how many we picked, Lily explained. But I still haven't found the best one, said Micah. Micah ran to the farthest corner of the field. He searched and foraged, lifted and shifted until finally I found it, Micah yelled. He threw his arms around a huge pumpkin as round and full of moon on Sukkot. Micah Micah heaved and tugged and pushed and shoved. The pumpkin wouldn't budge. I need help, Micah called out. Other kids came running. This must weigh more than a tractor, Ari explained when he tried to lift the pumpkin. Together they rolled the pumpkin all the way back to the truck. Micah couldn't wait to show off his enormous perfect pumpkin, and Micah remembered what Farmer Jared said about the soup kitchen. Micah took a deep breath and said to Farmer Jared, Here, this one's for soup. Farmer Jared smiled. What a kind offer. We don't use the large pumpkins for cooking, but it will make a wonderful decoration. Micah headed back to the field. He searched and scorched, raked and rummaged. Finally spotted it, a perfect little pumpkin, the best Sukkot pumpkin ever. Micah could almost taste the delicious soup, the sweet and spicy pumpkin pie his mom would make. His family always had so much delicious food on Sukkot. Not everyone was lucky as his family. Micah placed his perfect small pumpkin on Farmer Jordan's Jordan's truck. This one is for the soup kitchen, too, for cooking, he said proudly. He stepped back. He felt something squishy beneath his feet. It was a spongy, moldy pumpkin. It smelled like wet socks. Ew, this one is rotten. That pumpkin will break down into compost and feed the soil next spring, Farmer Jordan explained. Micah knelt down. He pried open the pumpkin's mushy flesh, studied the inside. It was filled with seeds. He scooped out a few and slipped them into his pocket. Micah rushed over to his mom. "Look, Mom," he held out his hand. "I found the best pumpkin." "Is your pumpkin invisible?" asked Mom. Micah laughed. "I donated my perfect big pumpkin to be a decoration. I donated my perfect small one for soup. And I left the perfect mushy one for compost, but I kept these." Micah smiled as he pulled out his seeds. "The best suckered pumpkin ever for next year." The end. The world of dinosaurs. Dinosaurs roamed the earth millions of years ago. Some giant dinosaurs like T-Rex liked to eat meat. They had big heads and sharp teeth to attack other dinosaurs. Some small dinosaurs like Compsognathus were meat eaters too. They ate lizards and insects. Stegosaurus was one of the smallest meat eaters. Stegosaurus was one of the smallest meat eaters. Other dinosaurs ate plants. One of the biggest dinosaurs was Brachiosaurus. Its long neck was perfect for reaching the top of trees. Diplodocus was one of the biggest dinosaurs. The big plant eaters were so large that most dinosaurs did not attack them. Smaller plant eaters like Triceratops and Ankylosaurus had horns and thick armor to protect them from enemies. The smallest plant-eating Stegosaurus had spikes on its tail to defend itself. Other dinosaurs looked like large birds. Stromothosaurus resembled an ostrich. It was the fastest dinosaur. Avemius also looked like a large bird. Scientists think it might even had feathers. No one knew about dinosaurs until people found dinosaur bones. Scientists then used the bones to find out all they could about dinosaurs. Dinosaurs disappeared a long time ago, but the world of dinosaurs is not forgotten. The end. The end. Little Damien learns to earn. Little Damien learns to earn. It was the best street fair Damien had ever seen. So many people, so much for sale. Luckily, Damien had helped at his mother's booth earlier. She had worked hard and earned $5. His mom had counted out the crisp dollar bills. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What will he buy? Damien saw something amazing. A Micah J poster, his favorite pop star. A Makina J poster, his favorite pop star. Damien put his money down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. "Sorry, the poster cost $10, the man said. "Yikes! I don't have that much." Honestly, she was everyone's favorite. Damien walked sadly back to his mom. "The poster I won cost more than I have. Maybe you can earn the rest." "How?" Think about what you're good at and how you can use that to solve a problem. What's here, Damien thought. Booths with toys, booths with books, booths with art supplies, booths with friends. Come paint. It's only $1, Omar said as Imani waved Diamond over to the craft booth. Damien didn't want to spend $1 and he wanted to keep looking around, but it would be cool to design his own shirt. I'm putting a musical note on mine, Lilia said, humming a tune. Music, Damien had an idea. Let's do it. Damien put down $1. Damien made an amazing Makina shirt. He couldn't stop thinking about the poster. Now he only had $4 left. That meant he needed 6 more. How could he earn the rest of the money? A group of older kids from school walked by. That's the coolest shirt. That's the coolest Makina J shirt I've ever seen. Where'd you get it? I made it. There's nothing like that at the fair. Can I buy it from you? Damien thought about it. Sure, for $5. Damien gave the boy the t-shirt. The boy handed Damien the money. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have the greatest business ever. I have the greatest business idea ever, Damien said as they raced back to the craft booth. My mom said to think about what I'm good at and how to use that to solve a problem. He put down the money he had earned from his mom, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then he put down the money he earned from the t-shirt sale, 5, 6, 7, 8. The woman at the booth handed him 9 t-shirts. Let's get to work, Damien cheered. Now it's time to spell, Damien, Lily, Omar. Now it's time to sell. Damien, Lily, Omar, and Imani spread out their shirts for everyone to see. The friends watched and waited, but nobody bought shirts. Starting a business is way harder than I thought, Damien told his mom. Your friends helped you make the shirts, she said. Maybe they can help in other ways that they are. What are they good at? We can do this if we work together. Damien looked around and noticed signs on other booths. Omar, can you create a colorful banner? I can see it now, Omar drew and painted. Lillian, can you get people's attention? Let's do this. Lillian marched and played a Makina J tune on her harmonica. Imani, can you collect the cash? That makes sense. Imani started taking people's money. Soon there was a long line to buy t-shirts. At the end of the day, Damon and his friends counted up all the money they earned. The business was a success. They had sold the t-shirts. Damien's friends used some of the money to pay him back for the shirts they'd bought. Then everyone split the rest between them. I'm spending all my money on paints, Omar said. Acrylics, watercolors, oils. I'm dividing my money. Imani said, I'm buying a new math book and donating the rest. Lilia jingled her coins. I'm saving all my money for a tuba or a bassoon. Damien and his friends raced to the poster booth. Damien put down his money. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. He bought the last Makina J poster and a brand new business book. I learned so much today, Damon said. His mom kissed him good night. I'm so proud of you. I knew you could do it. Maybe tomorrow I'll start an even bigger business with my friends. As Damien's mom turned off the light, she laughed and said, I know you will, little Damien. The end. One zillion Valentines. 1 zillion Valentines. One of Marvin's favorite days was Valentine's Day. If I had a lot of money, I'd buy all those Valentines, said Marvin. That's silly, said Milton. You don't even have a girl. Valentines aren't just for girls. Valentines are for everybody, said Marvin. If I were a pilot, I'd draw a great big one in the sky. No one ever sent me a Valentine, said Milton. That's because you never send any, said Marvin. If you don't send any, you don't get any. I never have any money, said Milton. Valentines cost money. You don't have to buy Valentines. You can make them. All you do is get lots of paper and draw a big heart like this, said Marvin. I can do that, said Milton. Anyone can do it, said Marvin. I bet we could make a zillion Valentines. One for everybody in the neighborhood. A zillion is a lot of Valentines, said Milton. We'd better start right away. Milton went to his house and got out his paint set, his scissors, and colored paper. Marvin went to his house and got out his crayons, colored pencils, and a lot of paper. They made Valentines with big hearts, little hearts, skinny hearts, fat hearts, polka dot hearts, striped hearts, red hearts on white paper, and white hearts on red paper. Now what do we do? Said Milton. We send them to everyone, said Marvin. That's silly, said Milton. We need a zillion stamps. No, we don't. No, we won't, said Marvin. We'll put them under people's doors. I'll take this side of the street and you take the other. The next morning, everybody in the neighborhood was surprised to find a Valentine under the door. We have lots of leftovers, said Milton. I guess we made too many. No, we didn't, said Marvin. People like to send Valentines too. They don't just like to get them. They're all gone, said Milton. Great, said Marvin. Maybe, said Milton, but I bet we don't get a Valentine from anyone. Sure we do, said Marvin. Follow me. Happy Valentine's Day to you, Milton. Happy Valentine's Day to you, Marvin. The end. Mama, do you love me? Mama, do you love me? Mama, do you love me? Yes, I do, dear one. How much? I love you more than raven loves his treasure, more than dog loves his tail, more than whale loves his spout. How long I'll love you till the umaka flies, till the stars turn to fish in the sky, and the puffin howls at the moon. Mama, what if I carried our ptarmigan eggs, and I tried to be careful and I tried to walk slowly, but I fell and the eggs broke? Then I would be sorry, but still I would love you. What if I put salmon in your parka, ermine in your mittens, and lemmings in your muckles? Then I would be angry. What if I threw water at our lamp? Then, dear one, I would be angry, very angry, but still I would love you. What if I ran away? Then I would be worried. What if I stayed away and sang with the wolves and slept in a cave? Then, dear one, I would be very sad, but still I would love you. What if I turned into a muskox? Then I would be surprised. What if I turned into a walrus? Then I would be surprised and a little scared. What if I turned into a polar bear and I was the meanest bear you ever saw and had sharp, shiny teeth and I chased you into your tent and you cried? Then I would be very surprised and very scared, but still inside the bear you would be. I would love you. I will love you forever and for always because you are my dear one. The end. Look out, kindergarten, here I come. Look out, kindergarten, here I come. Wake up, dear, said Henry's mom. It's the first day of kindergarten. Oh boy, let's go, said Henry. He had been getting ready for this day all year. Not so fast, said his mom. First, you need to wash up and get dressed. So Henry brushed his teeth the way his dentist had shown him and washed behind his ears. Then he buttoned his shirt and snapped his jeans and almost tied his shoes. Okay, I'm all ready for kindergarten, said Henry. Not so fast, said his mom. First, you need a good breakfast. So Henry ate 3 pancakes and a bowl of fruit and drank a big glass of milk. Now I'm ready to go, said Henry. Not so fast, said his mom. You still need to pick up your supplies. So Henry packed pencils, scissors, crayons, paper, glue, and an apple and a photo of his mom and dad in case he got lonely. Now I'm ready, said Henry. What do you think we'll do first? Asked Henry. Do you think we'll paint? Sure you will, said his mom, just like at home. Good, said Henry. What else will we do? You'll probably learn your ABCs, said his mom. Hey, I already know the letters in my name, said Henry. What will we do after that? And you might practice counting, said his mom. You'll sing songs and play games. And you might practice counting, said his mom. 1, 2, 3 flowers, said Henry. I can count to 10 because we practice counting with buttons. What comes next? You'll make fun things in arts and crafts. You'll read stories, but I can't read, said Henry. That's okay, said his mom. You'll start by listening. Reading comes later. Here we are, said Henry's mom. It's so big, said Henry. What if I get lost? Remember, we found your room, your cubby, a kindergarten roundup, said his mom. Remember, we found your room and your cubby, a kindergarten roundup, said his mom. But you can always ask a teacher for help. When Henry got to his room and saw lots of new faces, he said, I want to go home. Why don't you come in and look around, said his teacher, Miss Bradley. So Henry looked around. He saw the art corner. He saw letters and numbers that he knew. He saw a bookcase full of books, and he met a new friend to play with. What? Well, what do you think? Asked Henry's mom. I think I might stay for a while, Mom, said Henry. Because kindergarten is going to be fun. The end. If Tigers Disappeared by Lily Williams. If Tigers Disappeared by Lily Williams. There are Benguela Hills in India, some of the Benguela Swampy Temple Wildlife Sanctuary. This area, located in the eastern Ghats, is lushly populated, home to animals that jump, pounce, stomp, and roar. Tiger ancestors can be traced back to Africa more than 2 million years ago. Over time, they left Africa and moved into Asia, where they slowly evolved into the 9 species of tiger, 6 of which are still alive today. The smallest subspecies of tiger is the Sumatran tiger, which can weigh 250 pounds and grow to be 6 and 8 feet in length, while the biggest tiger in India is the Siberian tiger, which can weigh over 660 pounds and be over 10 feet in length. Most of the world's tiger population is made up of Bengal tigers, who mainly live in India. In 1900, there were an estimated 100,000 tigers in the wild, but from 1900 to 2000, tiger populations declined by 96%. As human populations expanded, tigers lost more and more of their natural land. Today, due to habitat loss and poaching, fewer than 4,000 tigers remain in the wild. As apex predators, tigers rule the vast forests, swamps, and mountains they inhabit. A single tiger's territory can be over 25,000 acres of land. If Bengal tigers disappeared, the populations of sambar, cheetal, and other large mammals that tigers eat would grow out of control. Large mammals help maintain the landscape by eating, dining, and walking through large areas of forest, which few other apex predators to help control the population of these with few other apex predators to help control the population of these large animals. Their patterns of eating, dining, and walking through the forest would slowly erode waterways and change the landscape the water runs through. This would affect plant growth patterns, making it impossible for some species of natural flora and fauna to survive. The combination of these events would completely alter the forest landscape. And if the forest landscape changed, smaller animals that call the waterways and plants home would quickly die out. Without their usual plants and animals to live off of insects might be pushed into human areas searching for new places to re- reproduce and feed. If insect populations changed, so would the world as we know it. This ripple effect, called the tropic cascade, can put all spill out across the world, affecting all forms of life. What might feel like a threat to a single animal population far away can actually have effects that reach our ecosystem as well. While humans have taken over a lot of the natural land that tigers inhabit, much hope lies with people and what we can do to help tigers. Many many indigenous communities who worship and help protect tigers believe that tigers and people can coexist in harmony. However, some local people have had to resettle due to their tiger wildlife sanctuaries being established on their land. The indigenous people are the best at maintaining their land and conserving it, and relocating people from their ancestral homes throws off the balance in these locations. The best thing you can do to help save tigers is to learn how important they are in their ecosystem and to share this information, because if we roar loud enough for them, then maybe they'll continue roaring in the wild forever. The end. Dan's game. Dan's game. One day in June, Dan got up late. He saw the time he was late for a date. The baseball game was about to begin. If he were late, would the team win? He put on his pants, he put on his hat, he ran to his bike. The tire was flat. Leap came along, he came in the gate. I have a plan, you won't be late. Take my skates, Leap said to Dan. I'm sure you will make it. I know you can. They raced ahead. Leap helped Dan skate. They made the game. They were not late. The game was great. Dan hit the ball. They all had fun, but that's not all. Dan went home. He did not rest. He made a cake. Leap is the best. The end. Leap scrubs up. Leap scrubs up. Look at that mud. Time for the tub. Time to wash up. Rub-a-dub-dub. Leap made a fuss. He wanted to run. Leap come with us. The tub can be fun. Tad got a duck. Leap got a sub. Tad got a cup to put in the tub. Leap got a tub, a mug, and a jug. Tad got a bug who is snug in a rug. Time to wash up. Time for a scrub. We're all in the tub. Rub-a-dub-dub. The end. Okay, part 3 will come soon. Be on the lookout for part 3 of reading these books.